think that you've been given the job because you're the best person for the job.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so it just undermines the whole sort of team fabric, doesn't it? And then you just get this sort of blob.
Well, you see, look, here's the thing. They only hire people of the same mindset, right? Of the same mindset, which actually this segues quite nicely over to here. Hang on a second. Share screen. Doink, doink, doink. So this story is like really kind of gathering a bit of steam now. Blinken says evidence of UNRWA staffers in October 7th are highly credible, right? Highly credible. Well, it's not only that. Here's the thing. UNRWA is exactly like the BBC, right? Exactly like the BBC. Do they have the pictures of UNRWA there, of like them stealing stuff using an UNRWA base? I don't know. Like there was only 12 people who from UNRWA that took part in October 7th. I find amazing. But there are Israel intel shows 10% of UNRWA workers in Gaza have ties to terror group. Well, that's very true. Yeah, let's go. I completely believe that. That makes a lot of sense. There isn't that much difference between the UN and Hamas. Right, and those who don't have a direct tie to it are like the BBC, right? Yeah, are you dismissive of was it Hamas policy of killing all the Jews in the most heinous way possible? Are you dismissive of that? Yes. Well, you're not right for Hamas, then. You don't fit the corporate culture, right? You do not fit the corporate culture. Anyway, which reminds me of this. It segues over to here. Man, I'm so sick of watching ignorant morons who think they know everything talk about Israel, right? Oh, God, it makes me so crazy. So there's this one over here. Doink.
Who has revealed Israel is prepared to go it alone in its war with Hamas if the...
Yeah, but it looks like America's spoiling to start war with Iran, so that works out well for us, right?
International community doesn't lend support. Speaking exclusively to talk to
one sec, before he gets to this recovering stuff, so we're just going over the talking heads.
And to do, sit back and say to Hamas, look, okay, we're not going to do... So how you begin the process of...
Let's go back to the discussion bit.
And they could identify all the camps, all the areas they're at.
Here we go.
We're doing.
One of the difficulties, I think, with this, and I think everybody probably shares it, how do you get rid of Hamas? You could obliterate all of every single one of them in that region. They could identify all the camps, all the areas they're holding weaponry.
Well, okay, here's what I think you need to do. Just take out any ability of them to perform any military action. If that means killing everybody in Hamas, that's fine by me. I have no problem. They've got 30,000 troops, right? Right now, they're saying how many are killed has been killed so far in Gaza? I think they're saying 30. Look, I mean, the numbers are all bullshit, right? The numbers are all bullshit. But say 30, 40, I'd say 40,000. 40,000. And I think it's 30,000 they were saying. How many killed in Gaza war? Let's see if they will give you the. Let's see what the BBC says. On average, 300 people a day. Man, these are all out of date. These are all out. There's a 2014 one. We should have done some more there. It will sound like 30,000, right? That Hamas was claiming, right? Sound like 30,000. Oh, here, let's see what Wikipedia has to say. Where is it? Okay, so they're saying 26,751 killed, right? So Israel is claiming that they've killed, and their estimates are normally pretty good, that they've killed 8,000. This was from about a week ago. Killed 8,000 Hamas and injured, so they're not able to fight, another 10,000. Like 18,000. That's like we're getting up to. They're down to about 33% capability, right? So let's say 16,000 out of what was this from? This 26,000. Let me see if I can find it. Doesn't give me a date. Doesn't give me a date, right? Okay, but okay, let's say I'm going to say 30,000, right? And Israel's saying they've taken out, what was it, 16, 17,000, something like that. So just going by Hamas figures, that, and look, I want to be absolutely clear. Any innocent civilian dying, any innocent child dying, although, I don't see. I mean, look, my definition of an innocent child is different, right? My definition of an innocent child is somebody who hasn't been brought up on a relentless doctrine of wanting to murder Jews, which they have been, right? It's like endemic to go. And this was our own stupid fault. This was Israel's stupid fault that they let this go down, right? We are absolute idiots that we let them control their own media. But here, look, this is, I'll give you an example right now. 1 second, doink. Share screen, window. Like, this is a Charles Jigsaw showing them eradicating the Jews. This is a Charles Jigsaw saying, perform Holocaust on the Jews, right? And look, I can tell you, factually, I live here, and nobody's saying, yeah, let's do a Holocaust. This claim of genocide is obscene. In that it's just bollocks, mate. It is just like there's no, the claim of genocide comes from the racist view of the bloodthirsty evil Jew, right? The bloodthirsty evil Jew who did the Nakba, which was October 7th times a million, but it didn't really happen, right? What happened was that a vastly inferior force survived the 48 War of Independence and retains territory. And the Palestinians were embarrassed. They said, oh, they were evil devil men, Jews. No, whatever. But they've been brought up in it all their lives, right? Their entire life. So are they innocent? No, their innocence has been stolen from them from fucking Hamas, by Hamas. That's why I think whatever happens, we need to control media. We need to control media and pump the message, we should all be friends and live together in peace and harmony. Right, because it's better for everyone, right? It's absolutely better for everyone, right? It's amazing though. Yeah, you meet these pontificating talking heads. You'll see these pontificating talking heads, and you will say, "Oh no, it's not like that," and they'll say, "No, Netanyahu pulled the wool over your eyes." Really, I live here, you cunt. Really, I think I might have a better idea than you. No, you don't. I think that's kind of the conversation I had with what's his name again. Not Philip Martin. He was the guy from Rings on Your Fingers and Vengers and Varos. What's his bloody name? The guy who finds lost. Well, he hasn't done so much recently. Who finds lost episodes? Philip Morris, right? Basically, that was Philip Morris. Yeah, he was like, no, you don't know anything. I'm like, well, actually, I kind of do. Anyway. So that's the first. So, but yeah, any non-combatant, we'll put it that way, any non-combatant killed is a tragedy. I agree with that. Now, you'll notice no one on the Hamas side says that. They're like, well, the occupiers, they had it coming. I mean, you have people who give like maybe 2 or 3 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds FaceTime. Right, to saying sorry for October 7th, but that's about it, right? Because they know they got to say that to be able to get out their Jew-hating, Jew-hating narrative, right? But mostly they don't. No, any is a is a tragedy. But if 30,000 been killed, and was it 8,000 of them is Hamas, 8, 16, 24, 30. So that's like 1 in 4, which is slightly better than the British and the American civilian casualties. I don't believe the Hamas statistics, right? I mean, look, they said 500 babies were killed when none, absolutely none were, right? Do you remember that? When they say, the Israelis have bombed a hospital, and it turned out to be an Islamic Jihad misfiring rocket. That landed in the parking lot, made a little fire, and no babies were killed. So look, if you say that Israel's killed 500 babies and they haven't, and at that point your credibility isn't so great, except if you're Owen Jones, and then everything you say is still 100% correct. So I really like Jeremy Corbyn so much. Anyway, so I think those numbers are bullshit. I think the numbers are great. Cut them in half, maybe. That would give it 1 in 2, which makes sense, seeing as we tell them where we're about to attack, which is something I would rather they didn't. Anyway, with all that said, listen to these talking head morons.
The head honchos and people that are in charge, you get rid of every single one of them, and like the proverbial air bubble, they will just pop up somewhere else. It's an ideology.
No, mate. Again, just crush them out of existence. And that's not everybody in Gaza. There's everybody in Gaza willing to take up arms to kill Jews. Yes.
It's, to these people, it's an evangelical religion, extreme as it might be. That's what it is. So you're not going to get rid of it. I don't know the answer to how you begin the process of doing this. What I do know is that...
Start by killing the people with the guns who are hiding in tunnels, okay? That's part 1.
Israel has a right to defend itself. And I think Netanyahu is right, actually. What are you meant to do? Sit back and say to Hamas, look, okay, we're not going to do anything here.
Yeah, look, Hamas's demands are kill all the Jews. Right? And so what? You're saying, well, can you meet them halfway? Fuck off! No! Right? I mean, I guess if Hamas completely surrendered, handed over all their weapons, all the hostages or the bodies of the hostages, right? Handed them all over, right? And said, at that point, they wouldn't need to all be killed, right? If they do that, that's a good idea for them.
Which would give them the confidence to continue and to grow and to subjugate and do whatever else they want to do. I mean, and every time I speak to a professor or an expert in this area of international politics, geopolitics, whatever you want to call it.
So I think this was when Owen Jones said, see how evil Netanyahu is. He's already planting a tree in Gaza because they want to occupy it after they commit genocide. That was actually one of the kibbutzes destroyed by Hamas, its rededication ceremony with the planting a new tree there. Owen Jones is just a lying racist cunt, isn't he? I mean, why do I think Owen Jones is a lying racist cunt? Because I caught him lying in a racist cunty way. So that's where I come to it.
Call it. I think everybody has the same response. We're just not sure.
But this thing of self-defense. So in this country, if someone attacks you in the street, you're allowed to defend yourself by punching them, kicking them back, whatever. If that person who attacked you runs away and you chase after them and you catch them and you carry on beating them, that's no longer self-defense. Okay,
that's not what's happening, you ignorant cunt, right? You absolute ignorant cunt. Oh, yes, we're keeping... Okay, if we caught them, we'll have the fucking hostages back, you moron cunt. Can you show me where they are? When they're coming back? All right, is it disproportionate? Oh, you're right, they raped a lot more women before they murdered them than the Jews did. You're right. But Jews don't want to be, the rapey kind. It's not nice, right? We're not into that.
Defense. And I feel with Israel, I think with Netanyahu, the only way he's going to eradicate Hamas would be to kill every single person in Gaza. And
so you're saying everyone in Gaza is Hamas, right? No, again, re-education. You leftists love that, don't you?
That seems to be what is happening because...
Oh, really? You lying cunt! One bomb will kill everybody fucking in Gaza, you lying cunt bastard! Oh, that seems to be what happened. How? You defamatory, racist piece of shit cunt! How is that happening?
The amount of civilians who have been killed already...
Far less than the British managed.
The amount of children...
According to Hamas.
According to Hamas. Well,
according to math, I trust them, obviously, they're not like Jews.
But we know from the UN...
Oh, wait, UN, who take their number from Hamas? UNRWA?
Well, UN and Hamas are almost the same thing these days.
They're not.
No, really? Actually, they were, right? That's why UNRWA's being defunded. That's what's going on.
No, that's not fair to say.
It's very fair to say. It's 100% accurate to say.
We know that children are being having their limbs removed without anesthesia.
How do you know that? Who's doing that?
We know that miscarriages have gone up by 300%. We know.
I would believe that, but how many miscarriages are there? I mean, I'm sorry. How do you know all this?
Women.
I don't think we know those
for
sure.
Okay, we don't know for sure. Fine.
These are the anecdotal stories.
Here's the...
we don't know for sure. Yes, and that's really quite important, you racist piece of shit cunt.
Facts. Here's the facts. Over 20,000 innocent civilians have been murdered.
Yes.
How many...
Okay, so you're saying 20,000? I'll go with that estimate. So in that case, 9,000, I believe, are Hamas. We're getting a 1 in 2 rate. Double. That's 2 times that. British, when they did in Desert Storm, they minimally 4 civilians would die for every enemy combatant, right? 4, it was actually 3 to 1, right? It was a 3 to 1. This is a 1-on-1. What are you bleating about?
How many hostages has that brought back?
Well, I think I don't think we're getting any of them back, but I think they're shitting themselves, right?
We can talk about who started it, who did what.
Hamas started it. They did that.
There is no way they are going to stop Hamas by killing more and more.
I'm going to agree.
Really? Oh, wouldn't it be great if you had that attitude during World War II? Well, there's no way we're going to stop the Germans by killing more of them. No. We should write strongly worded letters. I feel bad for the Germans who've been killed by the British. It's so horrible.
I agree with you, actually. I'm deeply nervous where we go from here because there are 1.5 million Palestinians who are fleeing for their lives. We've got UNRWA being suspended, the aid being suspended.
Why is that? Because they're all Hamas cunts.
Because they found out some of the people working for UNRWA were involved in that terrorist attack.
Were involved, you mean? Well, let's be clear. Were involved in that another way of wording it is they found that people working for UNRWA, the UN, raped, murdered, and beheaded Jewish babies because they were Jews. Oh, there was some involvement.
Equally, Netanyahu doesn't want a solution as far as I can see.
You fucking moron. Yes, he does. Again, you have absolutely no clue what it's like in Israel, what people think in Israel. You are just, again, what an absolute arrogant cunt projecting your opinions that you know literally nothing about. I mean, how would you like it if I started to say, oh yeah, everybody in England just hates the Chinese, right? They hate Chinese people. Don't be, if you're Chinese people, they'll kill you on sight. You know, and you feel fine to say that. And fuck me. I mean, like, I've never seen somebody more deserving of wearing pink trousers than you, mate.
So the 2-state solution, which is on the table,
it's not on the fucking table, right? It was on the table until Hamas took it off.
Said absolutely not. He's also said in any future...
Okay, he didn't say absolutely not. So we cannot reward Hamas for October the 7th by giving them a state. Again, do you fact-check anything coming out your idiot cunt mouth?
Sort of resolution of this, that Israel has to police it. Yeah. Well, I don't think that is really acceptable. He also...
What are you a doctor of?
Calls for a new Palestinian authority.
Although, your last name's pretty good. Dr. Ball. Dr. Ball comes in.
Authority to oversee it. He wants a role for Egypt and he wants a multinational force to rebuild Gaza. Well, hang on a minute. You also have to play nicely with the United States, the United Kingdom and the allies as well. So, and I was talking to...
So you're saying we should let ourselves be raped and murdered to play nicely with them? That's what you're saying? Oh, man, I wish I was in that room with him.
To a young Jewish man at the weekend on my show, and he was telling me that actually Netanyahu is not widely liked in Israel.
No. Yeah.
Well, that's what the press says. I don't think it's not widely liked by the press, that's for sure. I think he's got, if there's election day, he would win hands down.
And I think that's exactly what we forget.
I think that's one of the most important things to remember.
Yeah, but it's not true, Daisy.
Netanyahu...
Fuck me, my dog's called Daisy and she's smarter than you.
...wants is to keep his job, I'm afraid to say. I don't think...
Actually, I don't think he does, really. like, he could easily retire and be fine.
That pretty much anything else he says is completely genuine. He thinks that the way to keep his job is to keep the war going. Because the minute the war...
No, arsehole. My kids are in the war. Everybody's kids are in fucking war. You don't sleep at night. I haven't slept at night for months. Oh, man, you're always worried. Right, here's another thing. I just realized, right, next time I see my older son who's married, right, I've got to tell him to leave messages to minimally 2 people, right, to say that if he is killed and his body isn't found, right, that he's issuing a request for a divorce to his wife. Why? Because if there's no body, she can't remarry, right? It's a fucked up thing, but like that's why they try and find any evidence of somebody's been killed, right? By Jewish law, she can't marry. She's stuck. She's called anaguna, right? I got to tell my son to give a provisional divorce to his wife in case he gets killed and we never see his body, right? So she can have a life. Man. But that's it. Again, how the fuck do you know anything that you're talking about?
Or ends, his role ends. He is defunct. He is,
Look at you, nodding like you know something.
Extra to the needs of the country, and I think they'll get rid of him.
Although weirdly, do you notice the guy in the pink in the pink trousers, right? He's wearing a spotted shirt, and the guy in the was it dark green suit has a T-square, much like his that guy's shirt. Weird, but true.
The country, and I think they'll get rid of him. I think he's not just unpopular now. I think he's lost the majority of support.
Why do you think that? Because you read the papers, do you? Oh well, they're always reliable.
Partly because people held him responsible for taking his eye off the ball, and partly because they have seen that the hostages are not being brought back. So it seems to me that this is a man clinging on to power and thinking
it seems to you in your ignorant perch point of view. And again, look, if somebody better than Netanyahu comes up, I'll be like, fine, go for him.
The only way to do that is to carry on.
But would a replacement make any difference to this? And how do you deal with a medieval death cult on your doorstep?
Well, yeah, these are pretty good questions. Brain boxers over here. Do you have any ideas?
What are you meant to do? And by the way, just to compound it, JJ, I abhor seeing those scenes of
yeah, but they show you those scenes to weaponize them.
Babies, whatever side they happen to be on. There seems to be a lot of that put out there, etc. The kind of uncomfortable counter argument is, we had a war with Germany twice, and on both of those occasions there were lots of casualties in order to achieve what ultimately turned out to be
more casualties, more civilian casualties. Don't go back to Germany. Go to Desert Storm.
The right decision.
Go on, Dave.
I mean, just one tiny thing is, this is a bit of a hooray for Talk TV, but that was a very impressive interview for Douglas Murray to get. Netanyahu hasn't given an Israeli journalist an interview since October the 7th. So,
well, look, we like Douglas Murray. Don't get us wrong. Britain's finest Englishman.
So, the plaudits to him for getting that interview. That is serious journalism.
Absolutely right. Right.
There you go. Ah, man. So that's what life's like here on the front lines. Let's have a quick look over here. Hang on a second. Share screen. Doink, share screen. There we go. No, I could write. Hamas leader says number of prisoners Israel will free to be decided by hostages. Netanyahu saying you're not getting anyone. And I think he's probably going to get lots of more. Israel will not free thousands of terrorists or withdraw IDF for hostage deal. I think that's a tough choice, but I agree with him. And again, it's my kids. Literally my kids on the front fucking line, right? So look at this. This is crazy. IDF kills 3 terrorists planning October 7th like attack in hiding in hospital in Jenin. I mean, look at this. And these are the warm, fuzzy ones, right? I understand. There's no Hamas outside of Gaza. Fuck you. They're everywhere, and they want to kill you. Why they want to kill us? Because we're Jews, right? Because we're Jews. I am hoping this battle in Karney, which is raging right now. I hope they just I hope this is like their major stronghold. I hope it's their last stand, right? And they find a bunch of networks of tunnels. I would love something good to come out of this. Oh man, I would love something good to come out of that fight. Anyway, so I guess we better move on to geeky stuff. Man, I've been going on a long time. Oh, you know what? One last thing. I want to show you the character of Israel, of the country. Before we move on, this is something I have to do every time one of my kids come home and they're about to leave. So this is but it's much more poignant over here, right? So this is a grandfather who survived the Holocaust, right? And again, it's like we get a do-over for the Holocaust, but this time we're not lambs to the fucking slaughter. This time we got guns, right? He's giving his grandson a Jewish blessing before he, and I do this for my kids before they go off the wall. Nah, he wished he had that grandson by him 70 years ago. Man, but that's what it's like, I bet. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.